just quickly, those of you know I took a still just in this Aussie Kiwi trade. Is at this 1-to-1 area, so 1-to-1 profit. Just kind of see what will happen in this overall correction. If it's going to form a larger correction, then I'll hold the trade for longer. And then I did set an alert here, just want to see what price will do. I'm fine with price kind of trickle down or correct itself down, potentially forming some sort of correct a bigger continuation. I'm fine holding that with the 1% profit. But if it started dropping down very aggressively, then I might consider looking to exit for about 2-to-1. So I'll see. But I'm very happy with the entry anyways. To talk about this in the trade recap video, so make sure you tune into that one. So that's the only trade I'm in right now. And let's get started. Let's get started with all the indices. I want to take a look at all the indices. So looks like we have some sort of movement just about market open, just a little bit on the lower time frame. All this kind of price action, but like I said from last week and even the weeks before, I'm still in liking the price. I do like where we are. Like a price is at this double top area, and I'm just expecting price here to correct whatever it can do, and really just looking for that continuation push down and continue the price lower. That's kind of what I would want to see in the upcoming days and week. Same thing with S&P 500. I still see prices in this overall kind of ascending correction within the larger structure. Nothing has changed for me to change my bias at all. This is all just slower time frame correction, not too much. As long as price is within this overall channel, anything can happen here. Ultimately, still looking for the downside is, to me, is more risk reward for my liking. And Nasdaq, same thing. It actually pushed down a little bit. I think a few of you guys were asking if this is a correction. Yes, I'm waiting for something to develop here. This look or could look like it can be ready in the upcoming day. This is some sort of correction I would want to wait for at least few swing highs and few swing lows to count as a continuation in this time format. So can we see a rejection here or a continuation down, completing this correction? That would from the market. And from the higher time frame, we know we broke the previous all-time top, but prices in this correctional structure, and then we had this first kind of push down from the lower time frame. So this would be that correction that I would be looking for, just to push the price down even low to at least the bottom of this structure. And shaping up soon. It's really just depending on how we get this market open. How's the London and New York open? I know there were some pound news and whatnot, so there was some pound movement when market opens as well. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. This can all change when when London open, New York open later on in the day. I meant. So that's all the U.S. indices, and as usual, I'll go over these are the European ones, and looks like price is doing exactly what we were talking about last week and the previous week, is that if this is the ascending channel we're looking for a correctional structure, that this can just be a total reversal structure for this bullish move, and we can just push down from the price to the bottom to here. Not yet just to sell right away, just jumping like this. You want to wait for a little bit more correctional structure. Okay, that's going to give you that confirmation you need if this is going to be just a large reversal structure for this overall move, and we're just going downside from this point forward. And similar to the Euro 50, we hit this kind of double top area from the previous price action, sending channel, and we'll push down, waiting for that lower time frame correction to continue the price longer down to the downside. And all these ones, if you guys would follow me from last week's stream and the week before, we've been just kind of waiting for this kind of structure to complete. And that's why I've been saying patient is key. Is if it doesn't complete, if it continue going upside, then simply no trade, or no, you don't need to take a look, or you don't need to keep an eye on it. But if price does develop to what we're looking for, that you want to look to capitalize, something like that. So that's trends for either. These threes are very similar, so I'm just going to point out just for that. So That is all the indices I'm looking for this week. Again, my favorite ones are still Dow Jones or Nasdaq for the sell. Just waiting for that confirmation from the market. Jump to commodities really quick. Some big gaps on the open. Yeah. I'll go over those pound pairs later. Okay. I'm just jumping through the pairs really quick. Yeah. So hope everyone's well. So to these commodities really quick. I was looking at natural gas. Looks like it's playing out what I was kind of looking for. I mentioned I want to either see price continue this point forward, or can we see that push down kind of to the bottom of this structure and then waiting for a reversal. So we are seeing this push up already, which is good. So either we're going to get more continuation correction to continue upside, or is it just going to strongly push up from here this point forward? So going down to a lower time frame here, it'll be interesting to see what will happen. Looks like again there's some push up on the market. Either a correction here, that would be probably the first entry we will get, and if we can break out this overall structure, the better sell opportunity to continue the trade upside. So that's natural gas. Soybean really quickly touch over. This is very interesting because someone brought my attention to this one. This is the daily chart, higher time frame. We're at this previous swing high. Like clearly that if this is going to be a double top, this is a textbook kind of double top. And because you have all this swinging action, and this is the reason kind of swing high, there's nothing else above that. So there's all this space where there's no previous price action. It's all impulsive move from prior. So if this is going to be a double top here, and if we're going to see bearish momentum, this can be a very good trade to the downside. And looking at lower time frame here, well, we're getting a little bit of price action, a bearish price action. I mean, we're seeing this kind of a reversal structure. We have all this price push up to the upside, and then not much is moving on here, and then begin to consolidate here, and then did not continue to break out. Instead, we kind of break down from it and forming a first potential continuation structure. And looking forward to see what will happen here. Is it going to form kind of double top, double bottom, and completing this pattern, and then continue downside? So far, I think price is still kind of correcting. It's not really showing much here at the moment, but I could see that I can shape up something in the upcoming, hours or day. So this one I'll keep an eye on watch for this week. I do think these commodities, when they play out pretty big, because when they're in the impulsive rates, we can look at price action, look at the previous price action. You see when prices in these impulsive move, they tend to move very, very fast, right? Because of the market condition. So you want to capture these kind of move if it's going to happen. And looking at this price action from a higher time frame, from a multi-time frame point of view, really do like this kind of price action for that reversal sell. So moving on, just quickly go over silver and gold. Not seeing too much at the moment. These were always one I'm going to talk about, but not seeing too much here. Price is kind of in this correctional structure, and not much here. Maybe a head and shoulder here. It's a little bit slanted. I mentioned this last week as well. I would prefer price to kind of move the price to the top here over a sell continuation structure and push the price down. That's what I would prefer to see if I'm looking for a sell potential. The price could just start dropping down here, and for me to be more interesting is really just waiting for price to break the previous low. That shows us the impulsive move. We break out this structure, we break the previous lows, and then continuation correction would be ideal for the sell. Gold, zooming out here a little bit. What is price doing here? Again, similar kind of silver structure. We're forming this head and shoulder. Maybe it's enough for some of the people to get in. Personally, I want to wait. Not that this price won't work out. This is like a right shoulder here. We had a push down. We had a continuation. This can just continue downwards. But I see these kind of moves a lot, and I just didn't want to get trapped in this kind of move. Of course, it has the potential to move down, but likely it move down to the bottom here. It could just start stalling here, start correcting itself, and then slowly eating away your potential profits. Um, Likely, what I wanted to see is a little bit more deeper correction. I mentioned this as well. You see all these kind of previous correction. That's why I prefer to see as a bit a continuation structure for all the previous bearish impulse move. Right, these are all the bearish impulse move. We have impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse, and are we going to see a larger correction before the downside? Okay, so that's what I see at the moment in gold. But some of you guys did ask me about the sell here. I mean, if this is enough confidence, a confluence for you, head and shoulder, reverse pattern of this push down, and this, you in your analysis, you think this is all the correction that we likely to make for all this move, and we continue downwards, then yeah, right. This is a setup here. This is clearly a correction here that can push down lower. Okay, but of course, trade with your plan, trade with your risk. All right. So let's get started with currency. Why don't we jump into currency? Let's jump into pound dollar because there's some gapping here, right? And let's take a look at this. Any question, guys? Just let me know. All right. So what do I see on pound dollar? Well, originally I'm still looking for the sell, right? Because of the overall price action. I like the overall double top here. We have this kind of ascending channel. We push down, but very, very kind of choppy. Well, I don't want to say choppy, more swinging kind of price action, right? There's a lot of Brexit news. Of course, we know that there's a lot of news randomly, and of course, when market opens, there's quite a bit of gap here as well. So a lot of these kind of across the boards on some of these pairs that I noticed. We'll take a look into them, okay? But pound dollar first. Well, how do I see this? Well, I didn't enter any of these trades. I still was looking for development. Okay, these are just a little bit swinging kind of price action. I didn't want to hold through all these swinging trades. A little bit swingy in my opinion when you kind of look at how much of a movement, 200 pip or so, and then 200 pip or so kind of movement. You're very likely to get trapped in here, right? Because the price is moving too erratically in this opinion. Uh, in my opinion, now the safest side is see what it's going to do all this period. Okay, it's very hard to be holding through all this position through this period now because of all this move. You're just likely to get swing out and swing out. Right, likely you may secure some profit. You move your stop loss, and then all these kind of movement just take the trades out. Um, Personally, I want to wait for you know completely break the destruction. Now, I personally really won't be interested in pound dollar for a little bit because of this kind of price action. I don't really enjoy trading through all this. I don't really want to hold through position through all this anymore. It's just that you're just likely to get break even or minus or stop loss. It's not really it's not trending. It's not in the impulsive phrase. This usually would have been impulsive phrase when we look at the price action from a higher time frame perspective. We want to see impulsive phrase like that, but instead we're not getting that. So you understand that this could be just more of a correct to the bottom, right? I don't want to trade a trade when it's still correcting in that sense. Okay, so um, waiting for a breakout, waiting to see what happened this week will be more ideal. Okay, and there's really no setup here, in my opinion, for any sell, anyways. Right? Maybe some of you guys win this, or maybe you get out of this trade, but when market opens, this is not really good, right? There's a lot of gapping, right? Positions only going to get executed when market opens, anyways. If you had entry, if you have your stop here, you're going to get exit here, right? When market opens and whatnot. So, um, personally, like I said, just stay away from this until you see a little bit more development to break out this correctional structure. We know that there's no news kind of situation happens anyways. So keep don't get sucked into these correction. Right? I talk about a lot of these in my videos. I don't want to be holding trades in the correction. And now that if this is not going to be the impulsive phrase, then I don't want to hold positions through this kind of correctional phrase either. Sell is only my option. Sorry, I didn't read the messages. Um, Sell is only option in my. But is there a sell setup though? Can you see a sell setup right now? Is there sell potential from the lower time frame? Good to see you back, Accumulate Trader. Yeah, nice to see you. Thanks for having us. Dark Moon, can you please make more videos for the education? I've seen all of the other and they help me a lot. Yeah, really, make videos. That's kind of my thing to do, and that is what I'm going to do more and more in starting 2021 as well. So, CAD Yen, yeah, I'll go through CAD Yen. Okay, it's going to you see my watch list on the right. I'm just going through in order. Okay, I'll get through all the major ones, all the ones. CAD Yen is definitely one of my favorite one or favorite yen pairs going through this week. So we'll talk about that. Um, okay, so let's talk about dollar Swiss really quick. Oh no, actually, I'm gonna start with. Sorry, I totally forgot we were looking at the dollar pairs. So we talked about pound dollar. All right, so let's talk about Aussie dollar. Talk about we have to not now. We have to wait for a while. Yeah, for sure. So let's see how this week goes. So Aussie dollar, let's talk about this really quick because I get these messages from people about they don't see the Aussie being bearish and it's continue up. Yeah, of course, this is what we're seeing, right? This is what we're seeing right now. But my question or my opinion on it is that did we see any kind of buy setup or a buy potential when the price was in this area, right? Whatever it's going here, you know, while the price was in this overall thing or overall kind of correction, the move. Um, but was there any buy setup? Was there any kind of strategies or setup that we could have taken? If there was, yeah, then it was if it was in your plan, and then you can justify it, then taking the trade, nothing is wrong, right? The price move up because of more momentum going up, so likely there's people buying here or whatever, and then they manage to get profit from it, right? So that's how I see about trading, guys. There's no right and wrong here, right? There's what I see personally doesn't necessarily mean it's what everyone else sees, right? And it's not always going to be focused on right or wrong, right? So if there was opportunity and there's you're never going to catch all the trades, right? This is something traders must understand is you're never going to catch all the buys. You're never going to catch all the sells. That's not how it works. Okay, you're always going to miss trades. You're always going to look back and then see a trade and you're looking at it. You're like, oh, why didn't I enter the trade or whatever it is? Um, from my experience, we can't get emotional in that, right, guys? Because that's how trading becomes emotional. It becomes gambling when in that nature because you start second guessing yourself. You start thinking you should have entered those or whatever the case. But did they follow your plan? Do you think you would have taken it in another situation with another strategy or plan, right? That's the thinking process that a trader or maybe a beginner traders may go through. And I think that's something that we have to work on, right? There's no strategy that's going to catch every entries or every possible buy and sell, right? Doesn't matter what kind of strategy or style that different people trade. You're just always going to miss opportunities, right? So strategy A, and then you didn't see a buy set up here, and then the next time you'd be like, I'm gonna start using strategy B, and then looking for something else, and then as you jump to strategy and strategy, your mind start getting confused. The different strategies that you're seeing, the different sell and buy you're seeing, the different maybe you have indicators going on, you have a bunch of indicators on the bottom, and then all these confluences, positive confluence, negative confluence, the buy confluence, the sell confluence, they start adding up, and then they start just creating more confusion for yourself, right? So that's just a little mini thing I wanted to say personally, just because I, of course, in the beginning stage, go through that as well, because that's how you learn, right? You learn from making mistakes. Right? I was like that before, but you learn from it. You understand that's not the right thinking process, and you work on that, and you move on from it, right? So. I learned this the hard way. Fear of missing out. Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, let's let's get back here. Okay, let's get back to Aussie dollar. I want to talk about because yes, the price continued bullish off on this kind of ascending channel that we've been kind of just looking at the whole time, right? So, but this is what I'm seeing now. Is this going to be a correction to push the price down? This is certainly an entry in my opinion, but I wasn't really interested in it. I kind of was more seeing a little bit more structure can it develop here to see that we have a little bit push up. Can we push up a little bit more to this double top and then kind of forming an AM style pattern, and we can potentially push down from this point forward. Are we going to move up very correctively on the lower time frame here now? Is it going to move out like this during the Asian sessions? And then when London open or New York market opens, when we get more momentum, are we going to see a bearish move? That's kind of all I'm looking for, right? If it's going to continue upside, then nothing for me. There's at least from my point of view, there is no buy entry here. There's just really no because price has already moved up. I don't really see the point of buying here either, right? Where is it going to be a potential target, right? Or because price is already kind of in the middle of nowhere. If you zoom out from previous price action, there's all this. There's really not much movement if you look up, right? This is all kind of corrected price action. So, is this going to continue move up? Well, if it's going to continue move up, I would only be looking for a continuation correction here. I talk about this. If price broke up from this correctional structure, when would I look to change bias? Well, let's look for sizable continuation correction here to give me an indication that this is going to be the price push up on now, and this is going to be that confirmation to push the price further. Okay, so but I'm not seeing this as of yet. Okay, I'm not seeing much at all, to be honest. So waiting for my first kind of a forecast or first scenario is just seeing what they would do at the previous double top. All right. Kiwi dollar. I want to talk about this quickly as well, and same idea about the kind of this ascending kind of channel, and then price didn't work out or didn't play out according to what we were expected. Then that's how it is, guys. That's trading, right? Price is still correcting in the structure. Okay, the structure is evolving. The structure is still correcting, right? And then the structure was in this kind of way, and then we push down, but we kind of expand now. So, not if you just expanding the structure, is it still correcting? Yeah, in my opinion, it is. Okay, and this is what it is about. We just have to be a little bit more on the sideline. Right? I mentioned the sideline word a lot, but really, what I'm trying to say is we just have to, put our hands off the keyboards or off your cell phone if you're looking to entry like that, because there's from a higher time frame perspective that I talk about many times, and we see these kind of overextended kind of price action a lot. Okay, and I'm still not seeing the buy. I'm still not convinced from the market that are we going to get more potential push up. Okay, all these moves is just very corrected price action, right? And we originally had this sell, and I was looking at this sell, and I think this was during Thursday or Friday. We had this kind of structure drew this way. We had this price push down, and then forming a correctional structure and looking for price to push down. But and then it just didn't continue down anymore, and we're just forming. We had this reversal push up now, and potentially this. Is this enough to justify for a buy though? In my opinion, no, because higher time frame wise, you have the lower time frame price action, of course, don't get me wrong, but from a higher time frame perspective, are we seeing much higher time frame buys to give you a little bit more confluence, right? We talk about multi-time frame analysis. From a higher time frame perspective, what do we have a bias for you to be looking for a buy, right? Because we already pushed up this much. We're pushing up very correctively. We're at this kind of previous swing high now, and we're just kind of stalling in this area. Okay, and we're dropping down to the time frames. And the action, this is the only corrected price action I'm seeing. That that's it, right? That's it, and all this price moving up, it is not very impulsively, right? This is kind of how I distinguish when we move up, and in order for price continue, we're usually going to be an impulsive phase. and correction phrase and impulsive phrase, but this is just all corrective phrase in my eye. So that's why I'm not like I said, not buying for the buy yet, okay, but keeping an eye on what the market will do for this upcoming week. Again, being a little bit patient. No need to jump in if there's no trade. And I'm gonna repeat this a lot, and then I'm gonna say it again: is don't let emotion take over you, right? Because I find when they're wrong in their analysis, let's say their forecast didn't play out, they feel like um, they feel negative about it, right? But don't be, because that's what it is in trading. You're going to make forecasts, you're going to make analysis, and they're not going to play out. But it's all about how you see it that way, because you can think of it as, oh, you're not doing well in trading, you're always wrong, or you can think about that you just save your 1% or one trade because it didn't play out. You didn't have to risk the money. Okay, so it's all about perception, in my opinion, guys. So, all right, so Kiwi Dollar, that's that. Color really quick. Um, so is this forming a continuation correction? Could be. Okay, this is what I'm pointing out here. We break the previous high. Okay, price continued to push upside, and I talked about this since during this last week or so. I mentioned if price is going to continue, we're going to see a continuation correction. So this could be a continuation correction. This is why I mentioned just now about the forecast. We were originally all looking kind of for a potential sell, what the price is going to do here and there, but if this is going to form a continuation correction here, then yeah, that's going to give me the goal to change my bias on it, changing my bias all the weakness will continue. Okay, and that's my confirmation, and that's the key here. Okay, and there's no right and wrong, and there's no I don't get offended, or I don't feel bad that my analysis or forecast didn't work out. In fact, I'm very happy that the price is forming this way. Then that allows me to get rid of my short-term bias on the sell, and instead I can looking for the long term. Okay, and it's that simple, guys. It's about controlling your mind, controlling your emotion. Okay, so we talk about pound dollar, dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss is an interesting one. We know we have a few dollar that could potentially gain strength, and euro dollar is potentially could be upside. So I'm just going through one by one. So dollar Swiss here, we have price pretty much pushed down, but are we in this kind of a descending channel or falling wedge? We see price had these swing high and swing lows, and then we're getting squeezed. We pop to the upside on the lower time frame. And is this going to form some sort of continuation? A little bit too early to tell, in my opinion. This is a strong, nevertheless. We broke up, and can this be a continuation correction to push the price higher? Okay, I will keep an eye on this one though. I do like that it's pretty overextended. We have this all the way price pushed down. We pushed way below this previous low. Um, but is this a continuation correction for this move? In my opinion, no. This looks more as a reversal now. This looks like a more reversal structure that could reversal the price. But again, needing a little bit more development. Too early to tell from this point forward. Okay. So dollar peso I want to talk about. Dollar peso very favorite for this one, and I like the price action here. And here's what I see, and I explain this kind of every week, is that I like this overall higher time frame kind of parallel channel. We had previous price action, had this descending channel, and then we had that impulsive move to the upside. So we know this pair, when it moves, it's going to move very impulsively, okay, in the market conditions. And we're right back at the bottom of the structure here, who broke the previous low. And again, this to me is not a continuation structure to continue the sell. Instead, this is more to me as a reversal. It's like a falling wedge, descending channel, and then you have this kind of mini double bottom where you want to, and then a inverse head and shoulder. We pop to the upside and lower time frame, looking like this could be a first buy. I'm currently looking at this buy here. I like this overall consolidation period. It's correcting. We had a push up correction, push up, and this is just a bigger correction. It's a clean kind of break out of this kind of descending, falling wedge structure I talk about. And the risk for previous top, you're pretty good already with at least 2 to 1 to at least 3 to 1 here. But the main target is the previous swing high and the top of this overall structure here. So this one is definitely on my watch list for a potential reversal from the bottom. And lower time frame, like I said, it's giving you that first kind of clue or second clue really. We had this kind of breakout and then false breakout, so to speak. There's no correction here, right? So price break to the upside, probably tagging a lot of people out. And then you had this inverse head and shoulder. We popped to the upside again. And this, I was kind of looking at this correction, but I didn't like how this price pushed up and pushed down and then kind of make this. But to me, this is like on the higher time frame a little bit, that this still is a pretty clean breakout, right? And this is that first bigger correction that I'm kind of waiting for to develop and look for that further upside. So move on, dollar, Singapore dollar. This one still is in that descending channel, but I'm still liking the overall price. I still like how we moved down super correctively all the way to that previous kind of swing low. And then this is also where we had the COVID took off, right? And we could get that kind of momentum back, uh, be kind of watching what the price can do in this overall price condition. Is very corrective. It's in this descending channel. I don't expect price can sustain continuously moving down like this for a period of time. It's either going to pop to the upside or it's going to have that sharp drop down and then followed by a correction. It won't just kind of correct itself all the way down any longer. Any of these corrections still they have to, have that momentum to continue down this way. Okay, this is super corrective kind of price action. So I do expect a little bit commitment either for the buyer or sell, but the buyer to me is just going to look more attractive. We moved down all this price action already, and we can get that reversal from the bottom. So this one, they're certainly going to look great as well. But again, I'm not going to jump to all the dollar pairs, right? I talk about this. You should be mitigating your risk. You should only choose one or two. Yeah, pound Aussie. I'll get to that later. Okay. I'm still just going down the list, from this way. I'll get to everything. So dollars are. I want to talk about dollars are really quick. It's in that same kind of descending channel that I talked about for that dollar peso and dollar Singapore dollar, and this one likely needs a little bit of work, a little bit more development for the push out, but very similar price action. If we just zoom out, we all know that when the COVID happened, there's some sort of takeoff on the dollar, and then we had that dollar kind of reversal, we pushing down, had this structure, and then we pushed down massively as well. But there is no continuation. Again, this looks to me like it's more of a more reversal structure, and that's why I'm not really interested in the sell. I don't see the sell anymore. May I originally someone showed me that he was looking at a sell. I think he drew it like this. Uh, I forgot, but I think there was a sell or something that you drew it on. Of course, anytime on the lower time frame, you're always going to see sell and a buy, right? On the lower time frame, because of the price, you're always going to see sell setups, right? It's whether the price is in the uptrend or a downtrend, you're always going to see buy and sell setups. But how I value or how I judge a trade on high time frame approach, right? I have to see what the overall price condition is doing. I want to factor that into my analysis. So move on. Let's move on to a few Aussie pairs. So Aussie CAD, pretty swinging kind of price action. But if we just expand the structure, if we understand that structurally, it's not finished yet. We can still just see the expanding kind of structure. We had all this kind of swing top and swing low. Price is once again at this previous top and previous swing height of the price action. We zoom out a little bit here. Uh, this is potentially next swing low of the overall price. We can see this is that correction, the structure that we're in now. So to give us that more clue of that further downside. So how I would kind of take a look at this, nothing yet. This looks like it could be a structure here. Want to wait for a little bit corrective and then push down this way. That would be more ideal. This would be the first confirmation in my opinion. So that's Aussie CAD, Aussie Swiss, kind of same idea. Was kind of surprised that we didn't continue lower when structure was this. That's how I was looking at it on. And we had this structure we pushed down and then was seeing if there's going to be a continuation to break out of this and go lower. And instead, we kind of just form a bigger structure now. And once again, we're at this double top. We're at the top of the overall structure. So same approach as Aussie CAD. Not much has developed yet, though. This could be a decent ascending channel on the lower time frame. I would rather see a a clear kind of reversal or rejection from the previous top, and then push down and or even reach to overall structure, and then looking for reversal kind of price action there. Talk about Aussie Yen. That's not a trade I'm already in. Talk about that in the recap video as well. So yeah, let's talk about CAD Yen. So I'll make this post after. So sorry, CAD Yen. CAD Yen's certainly on my favorite or my preferred yen to be looking for a sell. So I'll go over this. I like what price is once again at the previous swing high now. Okay, this is clearly that can form that double top. It's very strict double top. There's no previous or higher kind of price action that we can see. So this is the latest price action. This is where we are sitting at now. And price gets to the high very correctively. I like this is the ascending channel that I have showing structures and correction. This is a good chance that I want to talk about is, I got some messages talking about certain people draw different structure than other people, different correction people draw. Really, it doesn't, it's all how you see, right? It's a bias, right? There's no right and wrong in trading, as I would always say. There's no one way to trade either, right? No one way to show, one way to trade, one way to buy or sell. Okay, there's many ways, there's different perceptions. So it's how what you're looking at as a trader, and it doesn't work out for you as a trader in your plan, in your risk management, in your entries and things like that. So I may draw the structure out like this. Okay, that's kind of how I see it. That's what I do my backtesting, and how I look at the structures and price. And other people may draw it totally different than me, and that's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so it's what works for you as a trader, right? So anyways, we're at, like I said, we're at that double top, and I see kind of two scenarios. I would see the more probable scenario would be because the bottom of the structure now. So is it going to form a correction here? I would like to see a correction here and break out and then looking for a larger correction, or just a larger structure that it can build, something that's a little bit more swingy with the swing highs and lows, and that would confirm me a potential sell to the lows of the structure. Okay, and another scenario is price just kind of correct itself to the top, to that previous kind of reason top, M style pattern potential, and then drop down from this point forward. So maybe some of you guys are already CAD Yen. I think some guy messaged me that he was already in CAD Yen, so that's good if you're in the CAD Yen already. I think this is what this, but I think this was your entry. So that's your entry. Great, you're in profit. You should be break even now. I'm looking to see what the price would do here. Give me a structure here, then yeah, I'd be looking for a sell. Or you can just waiting for a breakout from there and waiting for a new correction. That's also fine with me. So CAD Yen, definitely my favorite. I like the overall price. Double top here. We have lots of risk reward. We can get pretty good 4 to 1, 5 to 1, just to the lows here, depending on your entry. So Swiss Yen, also a favorite yen pair that I'm looking at for this week. Um, like that, we had this overall structure that it's expanding. We had a few swing highs, a few swing lows. We have price top to the upside, and this is a good example is that when we see a bullish impulse up, and then do we see a continuation correction, but to continue the price up more. To me, it's not. I'm looking at this as a more of ascending channel structure. We broke down from the channel, and can we see a correction here? Okay, that's all I'm waiting for here is wait for a little bit of consolidation period for the price, something that's going to show me that this is the first move on the bearish movement, and we're going to see the next move down to the lows. That's one also kind of at the previous swing high area as well. So price action wise, likely we can get a reversal. But looking at these yen pairs, I would, I'm probably only going to choose one. Okay, what I have seen in the market lately. That's what I've been slightly changing my risk management plan on for this December. If you guys notice, the ones I post on Telegram is a lot less, and I'm kind of just taking one currency exposure instead of two that I mentioned from the previous month. Just kind of adjusting to what the market is presenting to me. Euro yen. Someone asked me about euro yen. Potentially we can reach to this previous top now. Is this a continuation or reversal? Well, it's very hard to tell. We had this bullish push to the upside, and we break this previous structure. Good. It would look like it's going to, well, it looks like it's certainly a correction, but is this going to be a continuation or a reversal? Because we're at this previous, higher time frame, that this can be that M style pattern that I talk about as well. Okay, we have this period of consolidation. This can be just a swing high here, and then we could just see price kind of react to the top, and we start dropping this going forward. That's certainly one possibility. I didn't see the buy yet. Okay, so this is going to confirm for us that is this going to be the buy potential or is this going to be the sell? Okay, so that's why I'm more neutral on this one. I'm just pointing out this for that perspective. I think you were talking about a sell, if I recall. Yeah, you were talking about a sell, but I would probably like the price to kind of just correct itself to that top and then some sort of more of ascending or whatever the structure, more correcting, more reversal like, and then we can drop the price from that point. Okay, right now it looks very neutral. It could be even looking like that bullish correction that I mentioned. So nothing, nothing is kind of giving me more bias at the moment. All right. So pound yen, yeah. Some of you guys talk about pound yen, right? Uh, Pound yen, the same idea as pound dollar. I had this kind of move to the upside, but you see, it's already retracing about half already. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen, right? This is kind of that gap. Fill the gap as we continue push the price down. Okay, that's one possibility. Is pound dollar correcting already? Well, yeah, because we have the pop that we kind of retrace a third of it already. Is this going to start trickling down and then continue lower? That's also a possibility, guys. Right? We see a lot of these gaps gets filled, right? And kind of tag a lot of people. Maybe there's a lot of people in the cell. It kind of tag you out, and then it still trickles down afterwards. Okay. I don't see any sell at the moment, to be honest. If you're looking for a sell, it's the same approach that I have for pound dollar now, because this is not impulsive to me. Okay, this is not ascending channel after this larger channel. So my approach is the same as pound dollar. This becomes, if this is going to be a correctional phrase for the market, then I'm not really interested in the sell anymore. I want to see if the price can break out of the structure, and then that gives me a little bit more confluence for the sell. Otherwise, I'm happy to stay out of this one. So let's move on to Kiwi Yen. Kiwi Yen. So looking interesting to me. We're at the top of we're at the double top now. We're at this clearly a descending channel now, more very corrective. We price is very, it's kind of lurking a lot of people for the buy, but is the buy moving up? Are we getting more bullish activity, or are we going to get a recent top here, an M style pattern? We're going to break off from here. Okay, and looking at the lower time frame, double top here, a little bit erratic price action. Waiting for a confirmation breakout can give you that confluence that we need. Okay, Personally, not looking for the sell, not looking for the buy. Sorry, only looking for the sell at the moment. I'm just not seeing the buy for them for what it is at the moment. Higher time frame wise, we are just away from the current price action. But as we see a lot of previous price action, when the price does that, we see that sell potential after when the price ends. Okay, so don't discount the fact that we're moving up and up and up, but we still get the sell afterwards. It's like Kiwi Cat that we mentioned, because Kiwi Cat already made its move, but the other Kiwi pair haven't. But it's sometimes when I see price action, one pair could take off before the others with the same currency, and then they caught up afterwards. So, all right. So that's gonna happen to Kiwi Cat, which I'll go over after. Euro Aussie, not much for Euro Aussie. Oh, I want to go. This is originally was looking for a buy, right? I talk about the buy here was looking really clean, and unfortunately, the structure, well, not unfortunately, but we didn't get the buy potential out of this structure here. Instead, we had this reversal drop here. Going to be a continuation structure for this move here, and then this is all the structure we're going to see for the higher time frame move, and we're going downside more. All right, so is that what we're seeing here? But is Aussie Swiss showing us differently because it's very inverse related, and we're showing this kind of similar expanding structure here as well. So Euro Aussie, we broke that low, but are we going to continue lower? Are we going to get a continuation lower? Okay, so not much is confirmed yet. To me, there's no need to jump into this one either, because even though the continuation, but no point to jump in here. All right, you want to wait for price to break the low and form a continuation correction. That's going to give you more clue that this structure is complete, that this is if impulse, this is a correctional structure, and we're going totally downside after this. Right, this is how the market tends to catch a lot of traders off on the wrong side. Is that this people thinking that this is going to start dropping now. It may drop a little, it may drop some to lure more people in, and then we just see a massive reversal for the price. All right, so don't get trapped in this kind of idea, guys. If you're not in the sell from the top or from whatever, there's no point jumping the sell now. All right. So Euro pound moved down as well. We saw those looking for the buy here. There was a kind of a buy continuation here, and again, this is very kind of choppy and very corrected price action. Was looking for this kind of clean, impulsive move on the market, seeing how big this correction was, and I was just kind of expecting we can see a clean impulse, but instead this is very choppy and very corrective price action, and that's not really what I like to see when I only want to be in the trade when it's in the impulsive phase, not when I see correctional phase. All right, so especially right now we can see that from the lower time frame like filling the gap and just continue push the price up, right? But is there an entry for us to capitalize? Because if there was an entry, whatever entry the person may have may already get tagged out because of this run. So not much here, in my opinion, for any buy or sell. But would want to see further development from a little bit of the pound pairs, because this top would be even for my target, or this area would be a target for me if I was involved in this trade. Higher time frame, this is still a potential continuation correction for this overall down move, and I didn't want to again get trapped in the correctional stage before the reversal down from the top. So Euro Kiwi we want to go over as well. Euro Kiwi I personally got off for 2%. And is this going to be a structure here? Okay, originally was looking at the structure this way. We had all this price push up, but is this a continuation? We're kind of correcting itself in this area. Yeah, it looks kind of look like that. So is this going to break out from this correction? That would be a nice trade. This confirms that this is a larger correction for this move here, and a lower time frame here would be nice to continue the price. Euro Kiwi. So talk again. I was in this one. Got off for decent profit. And I mentioned this in the trade recap, is that looking to see what the price would do while it's in this overall structure. Are we going to get a reason top, reason kind of swing top, and then potentially just dropping down from here, making what we see here as a larger structure to correct this quick bearish impulse, and then we'll continue down this point forward. Okay, so this one's nice to see as well. Is this going to be a reversal? No. Okay, and then potentially this is a structure that we're seeing. All right. And last one, well, not last one, the pound Aussie, right? So, pound Aussie. Again, I mentioned this one in the recap video that it was a mistrade for me that I didn't go into the sell. But look, let's take a look here. Is that because we already dropped really much from the diverged potential kind of entry, I don't see an entry for any sell. This is also a potential bottom here at the previous bottom as well, and we're kind of getting a rejection right now, and then pushing the price up, and then who knows what will happen? Yes, because of the spread, are we going to continue the spread, pushing down the price lower and lower? Well, it's very hard to tell now, right? Because solely that we're looking at the double bottom here. We already pushed down massively. Okay, we had the entry here, and is this going to be enough to continue down more and more and more? Okay, I don't see that right now. Okay, is this going to form a larger structure? Maybe, but right now I don't really see any potential entry for anything now. Okay. So that's about it, guys. That's all the currency pairs I'm looking at. Not much else. I'm sure all the other pound pairs are also having that kind of a gap as well. So, any questions? Any question? Look at quickly. Aussie Kiwi. Yeah, I went over that. So in Aussie Kiwi, just to see what the price would do in this overall area. Is this going to form a correction to continue the price? Like I said, I set my stop loss for 1-to-1, set an alert here. If it's going to break down very impulsively, I might consider to exit. Is this going to form a head and shoulder to take me out? And I'm happy to take 2-to-1 and move on. And right shoulder here is just the kind of a channel to push down. Who knows, right? This is a lower time frame, of course, but higher time frame wise, looks very clean. We had this wedge breaking down. We had this first impulse correction to push the price. We did push up already a lot already. So of course, I do expect some sort of correction to form. If it's going to form very correctively, happy to hold the trade at 1-to-1, and then potentially looking for 5-to-1 or so. Okay. Didn't go over crypto, but I'll go over crypto. Just really not much on crypto for me because I'm not, again, I only want to be buying crypto, but I'm not seeing, I mention this every week, and I'm just not seeing the buy. This is not, to me, is this, yeah, it's a correction for this move likely, but it's not a correction that we just saw. That's why my bias for crypto is just seeing a larger structure in the making before the buy. I don't want to get myself involved in these kind of small, lower time frame potential buy and get trapped in the market and potentially take a loss. Link, however, looks more as a bear from this first bearish push down, and then had these few ascending channel pushing down, and then another ascending channel pushing down. Okay, and because price didn't break out of this channel now, it's just going to form another ascending channel to push the price down. Okay, and then I know I was looking at a few crypto as well, but not much is on my watch list really for crypto either, because I don't really want to be selling them. I only want to really be buying them. Right, and again, Bitcoin to me is needing a larger correction to for the buy. Okay. I just went over for the last hour though, so you probably have to watch it. What I'm looking for, anything that I have on my, anything I have flagged on for is my watch list, but there's priority or passive and things like that, right? A few of them are good at are cat yen, Swiss yen, dollar peso, and dollar ZAR. For dollar peso mainly, really not dollars are for potential buy, and Aussie Kiwi I'm in, and then few dollar pair that could be maybe. Okay, all the green ones are needing a little bit more development personally. Okay. Yep. So that's it, guys. No other questions. Looking to see what will happen for this week. Again, just have 2 to 3 weeks left, right? Still see the potential of the market, guys. So don't get discounted that there's no trade for you, or maybe November wasn't a good month because of consolidation. Well, December could be the time that breaks out, or even December could be consolidation. And when January comes, January becomes the impulsive stage, right? So it's all about really just being patient, because the longer you can stay in this game, the longer you're going to and make money from it. Otherwise, the sooner you give up, after 3 months, 6 months, you give up, and then you'll miss some big opportunity from the market, and you'll look back, you'll get more emotional, right? So, what is current trade? Aussie Kiwi, just Aussie Kiwi in my trade only. So, still running about 3 to 1 or so, but like I said, stop loss on 1 to 1. All right, guys. So make sure those of you who are new, can't tell if you are, join my Telegram if you want all the updates and notification. It's on here on Airs Trading, and all my videos on my YouTube. So all the learning ones, all the educational one, I break it down into playlists. It's easy to find them, especially on price action here. Okay, so. Feel free to ask me a question in Telegram as well. And I will see everyone next time in another stream, hopefully on Monday or Tuesday. I'll put the link in my Telegram. All right. First, yeah, make sure to follow me on those platforms, and you can interact with others as well. What is my name? Click my profile, Ares Trading. It's all on your left. You see my on your screen on your chat box to your left. You should be able to see all my information. You can click it from there. All right. Good. Thank you very much, guys. And have a good week. Okay. Chat with you guys soon. Bye bye.